This is Voluntas, my ultimate Iron Man. As an ultimate Iron Man, I cannot trade nor use a bank, but I decided to push my restrictions a little further and became a Slayer pure account. My Slayer level will not be going above 1. This locks off many items and other conveniences that Slayer provides. And what for? Jal-nib-rek, a pet received at a 1% chance from the inferno. One of the most difficult pieces of content in the game, a symbol of mastering the inferno. And for me, conquering it without Slayer. Welcome to this episode. So, in between episodes I got 82 attack, just in case I want to get in Osmond's Fang in the future. Figure I'd just get it out of the way. And I got some more fossils, so I got some more calcite and pyrophosphite. And I'll enrich these fossils. That was some decent XP, 27,500 per XP. So now on to the goal of this episode, which is gearing. I'm gonna be getting pretty much my final gear for the Inferno, or at least almost all of it, so there are going to be some pretty big steps made. The first thing I'm going to go for is upgrading my Arduino cloak. Eventually for the Inferno I want to have a Arduino cloak 3, which requires the hard diaries, but there are some hard diaries I can't complete yet, like craft some death runes and smith the dragon square shield, so I'll get an Arduino cloak 2 by completing the medium diary steps, and then I'll also do all the hard diary steps I can. For now, I'll go collect all of the items I need for the diary steps I can complete. Alright, that should be all the items. Now I can go and complete diary steps. I need some spices to boost my fletching, and I can oh, well, I guess I can't use the spice rack, which is interesting because Ultimate Iron Man can store a lot of things in storable places, but I guess the spice rack is too far. Well, it's not too big of a deal. Alright, there we go. Well, there are all the medium diary tasks. There's everything I can do. I just have pick poison ivy berries, which I'll do whenever I farm. Smith a dragon square shield, which I'll hopefully get the left half sometime, and then craft death runes, which I'll do later. Not this episode though. While I have the myth grapple and crossbow, I might as well do the diary tasks I can with them. There we go. Those are all the tasks with a crossbow and grapple. The next thing I want to go for is getting better gloves from Recipe for Disaster. I can't complete the quest because the Mountain Dwarf quest gives Slayer XP, but I can complete the Ceramic Vars and King Awawogi quests, which will give me rune gloves. I need 70 cooking to do the monkey quest, and I want to get cooking gauntlets for that, so I figure what I'll do is I'll complete family pests. It costs me 500k, but then I can just unlock the cooking gauntlets for free and just always reclaim them, so might as well. For cooking training, I just buy bass, I believe, and then use the fish on the range, and then I sell the fish here. And then I hop. This should be pretty quick overall because I'm only going to 70. Here's the first level already. Alright, so my cat's grown into an overgrown cat, and that's the reason that I've had my cat out, because I wanted it to turn into an overgrown one. Now I can retrain it into a wily cat, which has an increased chance to catch rats. So it should be better now for me getting spices. It also is better against the behemoth rat, which give 100% chance for a Fordo spice. I should be able to get spices much easier now. Now for cooking training, I want to try Hasidius Mess Hall. Apparently it's about 200k an hour, maybe a bit less with my lack of inventory space, but I don't really want a death storage right now. So it should at least be faster than what I was doing, which was about 70k an hour. I'll at least try it out, and if it's not good enough, then I can always go back. I need to make pizzas, so take flour, bowls, fill the bowls with water, make pizza bases, then I make these, and then after I make these, I turn them in for some XP, and then I hop. So I just need to make pizzas here, and I'll see how the XP per hour is. There's 68, and this cooking method is definitely quicker than what I was doing before. Even with me not doing this very efficiently, it's at least more than 100k an hour, so good enough for me. There's 69 cooking and 1625 total. And there's 70. It was pretty quick with this method, which now leaves me with the recipe for disaster quests. I have these two to do, and they're gonna be quite annoying actually. For one of the quests, I need to go to Introna, which means I have to probably death pile. And for the monkey quest, I need to make a gree, which is very annoying to do. So guess I need to get ready for that. The reason I want to death pile instead of use a death storage is because going to Introna and going for the Draymond branch might be technically slightly dangerous if I get locked in the wrong place or something. And if I death pile, which means just die and have my items on the ground for an hour before they despawn, then if I disconnect and die or something like that, the despawn timer on my items gets paused. So this is much safer. Nothing happens to the items if I die. So what I can do is I should be able to just tie to a guard here. And my items go on the ground right here, and I can pick them up. That should be everything I need. And I should be able to use spells here. Oh, okay. There's the bronze axe. And there's the Draymond branch. So now I can recollect my items. And my home's right here, so it's really easy to get over to Ferrix Enclave and get back, which makes it pretty nice to reorganize my inventory with death piling. Honestly, it wasn't that bad to get this, it's just slightly annoying. Now to collect the rest of the items for the quest, which should be easier overall. Actually, for the quest, I need sweet corn, and it looks like the only way to really get that is to plant some sweet corn seeds, so I guess I'll be thieving for those. There we go. So I'll plant sweet corn in both of these allotments, and hopefully none of them die. I think the chances are really low for them, especially because I'm going to be using ultra compost. And while those grow, I guess I'll do the other recipe for disaster subquest, the monkey one. This monkey quest is actually going to be quite annoying. I need to make the M-Speak amulet and 3 gree-grees. I guess I'll get to it. Here I can make some gree-grees. Wait, that took a while, but there are all the gree-grees made. Now I just need to get the normal items like a rope and knife and pestle and mortar. Alright, well finally that's everything. I got 3 of these stuffed snakes as per the wiki recommendation. Hopefully I don't burn all of them. Nice. There's the quest. Now to get all of the items required for the ceramic face quest. And as for the sweet corn, it has grown, luckily. And some herbal XP. Alright, that should be all the items for the quest. there we go. So that's all I can do with Recipe for Disaster. The Dwarf quest gives their XP, so not going to be doing that. And now I can buy rune gloves. Now for the next grind, and the next two grinds are going to be pretty important. They will be me grinding for the levels to make the bow of Ferdinand. So the grinds are going to be for 82 smithing and crafting, but for crafting I'll actually go for 85 crafting to be able to boost +5 to make an Amulet of Fury, which is going to be my Inferno amulet. But I think first I will do crafting training, which I need to death storage for. I'll take my things to Hespori to be able to store them there. All I need is my graceful and some coins. So I'm going to be doing the good old partnership method. I just buy the buckets of sand and soda ash from the charter ship, and then make it all into molten glass at the furnace, and then make it all into lantern lenses. And this feels like a pretty good time to mention a kind of important decision I've made, and it's the reason I'm doing this for about 40k XP instead of another method with super glass make that could be 70 to 100k XP per hour. So the reason I'm not using super glass make, and the reason I didn't train my runecraft this episode for Gyarados Cloak 3, is I don't want to complete Lunar Diplomacy, which is required to use lunar spells, and that's because of the Herblore method I did a while ago when I got 70 Herblore. The Herblore method requires you to have not completed the quest, and it allows you to use Guams and Marintils for 84 Herblore XP each, which is pretty good. So it does mean I can't do runecraft yet because of NPC contacts, and I also can't use super glass make, which kinda sucks because it would save me like 14 hours maybe, but having access to the Herblore method will probably save me some time as well, and it'll get me some good XP. Anyway, I'm going to be here for quite a while. It is gonna be like a 30-hour grind. There's the first level, 79. There's 80 crafting. 81 crafting. There's 82 crafting. Now, originally I was gonna go to 85, but I've actually decided that I'm gonna stop at 82 because 82 is enough to make the Bow of Ferdinand. Originally I wanted 85 to be able to stew boost to make a Fury, but I still have the Glory and it's good enough for now. I want the Fury for Inferno because it has a bit more defense bonus as well as a +5 prayer bonus instead of a +3, which the Glory has. So it's really good for Inferno, but if I do it later instead of now, I could do it after Herblore and collect giant seaweed and buckets of sand. Instead of using just the normal charter method, I could just be at a bank and glass make, which would save me like 10 hours of crafting. So I'm gonna stop here at 82, and for smithing, which I need 82 to make the Bow of Ferdinand, I'll actually go to 77 and stew boost. It should be really quick with me just going to 77. It won't be more than like 4 hours, which is really nice because crafting was a pretty long grind. I can keep a pretty empty inventory and just head to Hesperia and claim the items I need, so it should be pretty easy to get ready. This is actually a bit of a strange method and I'm not very familiar with it. I'm going to be doing Giant's Foundry or Smith and XP, but first I need to do a quest. And here's the mini game. I think this is pretty much a tutorial. I'm still doing the quest. So you just take a molten sword and then you hammer it, grind it, and polish it. And for each of these you need to have it in the right area. So for red, you need to have this in red. For green, you need to have it in green. For yellow, you need to have it in yellow. And in order to do that, you either heat the sword or cool the sword. And there's the quest. So now I can do this. Usually, as a main account, you just stack up a bunch of bars and then use the bank and then make swords with those. However, as an ultimate, it's obviously a little bit trickier, especially if you don't have noted bars. The way to do it as an ultimate costs at the start about 4 GP per XP, and then once you unlock more things from the shop, it goes down in price to about 2.5 GP per XP. So the way to do it is head to Prifdinus, and from this armor shop, I need to buy some adamant and mithril armor. So I'll need to hop for this as well. And then I either minigames teleport, which I can't do yet, or I just go back to my house and head to PvP arena and then run south from here. The Giant's Foundry is right over here, so it's not too far. And then from here, I can just make the sword. So you take a commission and choose molds, and the plugin tells you the best molds. And then in place of bars, you can use armor. If you use armor or other metal products, they count as how many bars it takes to make them minus 1. So it's not necessarily efficient to use for a normal account, but it's pretty good for an ultimate because it's pretty easy to get this armor from a shop. I just use 3 plate bodies of each and 1 plate legs of each. And now I just go through the process of making a sword. And the XP is 14,000. So that's the process. I'll just be making a bunch of swords here. And there's 73. And there's 74. And there's 75. The levels have been going very quickly. It's not necessarily that fast of a training method. It is pretty good, like 140k per hour, but it's pretty fun. There's 76. That means 1 more level. There's 77. That was pretty quick. So I just need to take some of these items, and I'll get some karambwanji for my cat to fight the big rats, which give guaranteed 4 dose spices of the color you want. And the fight does seem very nice with a wily cat, so I guess I'll just do this for spices and it should be very, very easy. And here's where I make the bow. Alright, didn't get it this time, but shouldn't be too bad to get more spices. Oh. And there we go. The Bow of Ferdinand, made and corrupted. Now, I can also recolor it, and I think I want to recolor it. After you corrupt the Bow of Ferdinand, instead of using up charges and needing crystal shards to recharge it, it has infinite charges. So it's pretty nice. Took a while, but finally I have it. Now I can reclaim everything. I should go upgrade my Arduin cloak as well. So here's the cloak upgrade and some more Herblore XP. And I can replace my combat bracelet with rune gloves. So here's my gear. It's pretty close to the max gear. Pretty nice. This stash unit that took me so many stew boosts, I can store my Bow of Ferdinand, which is really nice because it's an untradeable item, so I can't put it in my looting bag. Anyway, on to the final grind for this episode. I need to do some quests to unlock raids 3. I need to do Contact and Beneath Cursed Sands. And there we go. That's the first quest. I do have one more, but I also get a lamp, which isn't that much XP. It doesn't really give me anything. Here we go. Beneath Cursed Sands. It should be a fairly difficult quest. I'm not sure how difficult this fight will be, but I can't use ranged, so I'm gonna have to use the Dragon Scimitar, which might make it a bit difficult. Got it. Whew. Alright, that was kind of tough, but there it is. There we go. That is really nice. And here we are. the Tombs of a Mascot. So what do I want from here? The Tombs of a Mascot has really good rewards, from best in slot ranged armor to the best magic weapon in the game, a really good ring, a good melee weapon, a pretty useless offhand mage item. It is a really good raid for loot. However, I'm not after any of the uniques. I don't really need any of them, and I kind of don't even want them. They'll just kind of take up inventory. I'll take them if I get them, but I'm happy not to. I want a common reward and an untradeable. The untradeable is the thread. You use the thread with the rune pouch to make an upgraded rune pouch, which stores up to 4 runes instead of just up to 3, which will save me an inventory space in the inferno. And then as for the common rewards, some seeds would be nice, but the reward I'm going for are the dragon stones. Last episode I got 80 construction, which gave me access to with a +6 boost, which is very doable, to make a fancy jewelry box, which is super good. It means I can go straight to the farming guild, which will be nice for herb runs, but also very nice for when I die to Aspori and want to get back to my items very quickly. And it's just really nice to have a bunch more teleports in my house. So getting dragonstones is kind of difficult, but they're pretty common from the Tombs of a Mascot. The rates for the untradeable items aren't out yet, but from looking around, it looks like it's probably a 1 in 20. It shouldn't be too rare, so I'll just need to farm this for a little bit. I hope this isn't more difficult than I think it is. No, the lag is just too hard to get through. As you could see, for a split second, I had really good supplies and I was done with Warden and I would have gotten the KC, but my power went out. I think I'm gonna cave in and do 0 invocation runs. Yeah, that was really easy. That's not bad. And from this mini quest from completing the tombs, I get an XP lamp. I guess I'll just put it in ranged. But I want to see if I can get up to 50 invocation, because then the Osmundton's Fane apparently becomes a realistic drop, so it's not too rare. Alright, there. Now these light up. I don't care too much to get them, but the Fang would be a nice melee weapon. Yeah, that is doable. Okay, there's 83 range. Oh, there's that. Not bad. There we go. 4 types of runes now. That should be very nice. There's 90 hit points. There it is. I'm done. 7kc. That is super nice. While I'm going around here, I will pay 80,000 coins to reanimate this fairy ring. It could be convenient in the future, and it's pretty cheap. My law and nature runes are in my looting bag, so I'll quickly go to Espor to get them out. So this is everything reclaimed. Now for upgrading my jewelry box, I'll go mine some gold to make the jewelry. Now I can alch the rest of these, and I can enchant them here. There we go. Now I believe I need to enchant them. I need to get a gold leaf to make the jewelry box, and I also need the crystal saw for the boost. And there we go. That is the final thing I wanted to do. As you can see, this provides a lot of teleports. Warriors Guild, I can get food from there, some random teleports around the world, a bunch of guilds, which might be useful, and probably one of the most useful ones is the Farming Guild. So, here. The Farming Guild is a place I go to fairly often. It's going to be very useful to have this teleport once I farm all the herbs I'm going to need for potions. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I did a bunch of the Arduino medium and hard tasks, and I should be able to complete that before Inferno. I also got my rune gloves, which will be my best in slot gloves. Got my bow of Ferdinand, which is really nice, and obviously my best in slot bow for the Inferno. And I also got my divine rune pouch, which holds a maximum of 4 runes instead of 3, which will save me an inventory slot for the Inferno. And of course, the upgraded jewelry box, which provides a lot of teleports. I'm really glad this all worked out. I am very far progressed on gear now, and should be some good progress next episode. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you all in the next episode.